Well, good afternoon. It's wonderful, wonderful to be here. It's a beautiful day, and it's an even more beautiful day because of the reason that we're here today, to celebrate our wonderful friend, our moral leader here in the state, the shining example of how everybody should be, Pamela Atkinson. And we are so grateful that she's here with us today so we can celebrate her. I think it's impossible to overstate the impact that Pamela Atkinson has had on our state. For generations to come, she will have shaped the dialogue and the path that we take as Utahns in how we care for each other, how we care for the poor, how we care for the homeless. And I want to thank her personally. About 10 years ago, I was a new state senator, and one of the beautiful experiences that I had was the opportunity to meet Pamela for the first time. She used to come to our caucus meetings, and at least the beginning part of them. And oftentimes, especially around the holidays, she would give us English biscuits, which are just cookies, it was like my favorite day. She would bring us her biscuits. And I've been blessed by Pamela ever since. She's a shining example of what it means to love and to serve unconditionally. And she has truly made this state a better place. I'm going to give a quick run of show here. After I'm done speaking, which is going to be in just a few seconds, we're going to hear from Gail Miller. I appreciate her and Kim being here today. And then we will hear from Speaker Wilson, and then from President Stuart Adams. And then we will have some remarks by President M. Russell Ballard. And then Governor Cox will read a proclamation. And after that, we're all going to have some cookies and celebrate our dear Pamela. Gail.
Well, it's a pleasure to be here today, Pamela, a well-deserved honor for you. And as I thought about what I would say today, I decided it's just really hard to list all the accomplishments and honors in behalf of Pamela Atkinson over the years. And I'm sure there will be mention of most of them, if not all of them anyway, by the other speakers. So I'm going to leave that part to the others and just focus on my friend, Pamela. The very first time I had the honor of being around Pamela was when we both spoke at the same session in the same room at BYU Education Week. Many, many years ago. I didn't know her before that, but I remember thinking, what a remarkably humble person this is. I could see that she had a servant's heart. I was very impressed. She spoke of her humble beginnings in London, her history that shaped her from an early age to know that she could be and do something meaningful if she put her mind to it. She spoke of her education and becoming a nurse so she could serve others. She spoke of her focus on humanity and her faith in her Lord and Savior. What she didn't talk much about was of her family, nor have I heard her say much about them over the years that I've known her, so I assume that you protect them and keep them out of your limelight. My big takeaways from that experience were that we are kindred spirits and that I wanted to know her better. I've learned a lot from Pamela. I'd like to name just a few of the things that I treasure about Pamela Atkinson. Number one, she has a deep and abiding faith in God. She leans on him for her strength and her inspiration. Number two, she's never too tired, too old, or too busy to do or say something that will help lift others. Number three, she values all people because they are all God's children, and they deserve to be treated with love and respect, no matter what their station in life. She serves faithfully in her beloved church, the First Presbyterian Church, whose mission is to love God, love one another, love your neighbor, and make disciples. She is always thinking and worrying about how she can make life better for those less fortunate. I've lost the number, so I'm just going to name them. She's willing to share her last crust of bread if it should be needed by someone else. Of that, I'm sure. She is a compassionate leader, but also a follower of righteousness. She has a sense of humor, which is necessary because of the heavy load she carries in the community. She's the matriarch of her family, and she cherishes her children and grandchildren. Also, I've never heard her say a cross word or be judgmental of anyone. She doesn't always like the outcome of the things she works on, but she only works harder to get the right outcome. She has a large network of friends who love and admire her, including me. We have shared jazz games together, lunches, and had wonderful discussions about many things. I've had the privilege of meeting some of her children and grandchildren and witness how proud they are of her. I love you, Pamela. Congratulations on this well-deserved recognition today for a lifetime of service and achievement.
That was beautiful, Gail. Our state's prosperity is only matched, I think, by our commitment to helping those in need. And when we think about how Utahns support each other, whether it's by reading to kids that need help or delivering meals to the sick, supporting those amongst us that have mental illness, or even this week, helping our neighbors dig out of a massive snowstorm, we know Utah's a special place. We're consistently ranked across the country as the most charitable state for a variety of different reasons. And we don't just excel as Utahns because of the amount of time we spend serving each other or the amount of resources and money we give to charitable causes, but we also spend and excel, expend our time and excel because so much of the population of our great state is committed to service, serving one another. In our state, however, with the highest of high bars, I cannot think of anyone who is a better example of charity and service and love than our friend Pamela Atkinson. She's someone who, when you spend time with her, you always leave a better person. And every interaction I have had with her, I've always wanted to be better at what I do. She is a champion of helping everyone in this state find dignity in themselves and in humanity. She is remarkable at listening, despite differences. There's no one better at listening, which is so important. And at times offering friendship to those that are not just in need, but even those that she might disagree with at times. Her willingness personally to share of her time, of her financial resources, and her love is unmatched, and we all know that. Pamela, you've said something that I think we should all, I hope we all strive to live for. Quote, never underestimate the powerful impact of even a small amount of giving and caring. And that is you. That is absolutely you. And hopefully, because of you, it's in all of us as well. I am blessed, I think as all of us are, to call Pamela Atkinson a friend. And Utah is so, so lucky to have her as one of our own. Just think for a minute what our state would be like today without the influence of Pamela Atkinson over the decades. It would be a very different place. We can all learn from her example and give in the spirit of community that she's given us. Pamela, congratulations to you from me and all of my colleagues in the House of Representatives. We're so grateful for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Speaker Wilson. Sometimes we get to do some really fun things during the legislative session, and this is one of the fun things we get to do. As I walked in, I couldn't help but think, Pamela's been praying for snow. We've got the snow, but on the day we honor her, the sun comes out. And so fitting for Pamela. I think of the things that we do in Utah. We talk about our great economy. We talk about the great quality of life. We talk about all the great things that Utah is. And a lot of times during this legislative session, we want to take credit for them. But really what makes Utah great is not the great regulatory policy or the things we do here. It's the people of Utah. And Pamela, you have made Utah so great. Governor, this will be the Pamela Atkinson Day, but I think every day ought to be the Pamela Atkinson Day because of the great things she's done for Utah. I'm honored to be here, and I think of the things she's done. I noted a few of them. She's been involved in many nonprofits. She's initiated the Lincoln Family Health Center, the Intermountain Neighborhood Clinic, the Rose Park Family Health Center, the Pamela Atkinson Homeless Trust Fund, the Pamela Atkinson Resource Center, formerly the Men's Resource Center. I think there are 300 men that provides resources for. So many things you've been involved with. Pamela, I remember when, and you still are an honorary member of the Senate caucus, and I think you took part of our heart with you when President Niederhauser now has followed your example and is so involved in homelessness and doing such a great job. Your inspiration is a factor in all of our lives and surely a big part of our Senate family. I think of, again, Pamela being the voice of Utah homeless, and you may not have initiated if we listened to your accent. It's not a Utah accent, but you are a true Utahn. Hopefully you exemplify what we stand for in Utah, that of helping one another, helping other people, and providing service to those we love. Again, congratulations. An honor to be here today. Thank you.
Pamela, I'm glad I'm still alive so I could be here to celebrate this day with you. We have known each other for a long, long time. We've served on many different boards and have participated in different community activities. And one thing is so wonderful about Pamela, she keeps a smile on her face as she asks you to do things that are impossible. I'll give you an example. He called me up one day, and she said, I need a favor. And I said, Pamela, anything I can do? I'll be trying to do it. She said, I need, what was it, 200 steaks? I think she wanted 200 steaks. Not steaks in the ground, beef steaks. Because she wanted to have a special activity at Christmas time for the homeless. So I said, well, I don't know whether the church has got 200 beefsteaks. I'll have to find out. So when I told them that Pamela wanted it, they snapped right to. The bishopric knew they better respond when Pamela's behind the request. Well, isn't it wonderful that we can celebrate this dear, dear friend, wonderful example of a person that has spent a lifetime helping others, one who has a deep and abiding faith in God, and who sees each one of us, wherever she finds us, as children of God, and the smile and the willing and wonderful spirit of Pamela Atkinson is a great blessing to the state of Utah. Pamela, thank you for all you've done in your life, and thank you for your friendship of all these years. I count you a dear, dear friend. And we've done many things together in the community, and it's been amazing to me how wonderfully clear you think and how accurate you are in determining what's the best thing under certain circumstances. And we've seen a lot of them together where there were needs of others of our Father's children. And Pamela Atkinson is a saint. Now that's a very wonderful title for this dear, dear friend and wonderful example to our state. And I love you, Pamela. Thank you for all of you've done for our community and for the wonderful needs of some of our community members. And we extend our congratulations to you, to honor you, as the give herald your day, your name today, the Pamela Atkinson Day. And may the Lord bless you to have many, many more wonderful Pamela days as you continue to bless and reach out and help others in our community. What an honor it is for me to be here to say thanks to this dear and wonderful woman who has done so much for the state of Utah. Thank you, Pamela.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is an incredible group of people that we have assembled here today. Pamela, as I look out across this audience, I see so many friends of yours, friends of ours, friends of the state of Utah. This is a very special day, and I think almost everything's been said, but not everybody's said it yet. So I'm going to say a couple things if I could. I will say one thing that that nobody else gets to understand is what it means to have such a special advisor to governors. To have the knowledge that Pamela has, who has advised several governors over the course of her time in our great state. In our family, we're studying the New Testament of Scripture this year, Pamela, and we're reading about the life and times of Jesus Christ, and we're taught to try to emulate him, but sometimes it's a little hard because he lived over 2,000 years ago, and trying to think about what he would do in the modern world or how he would act in various different situations. As Abby and I were talking about this, she said, it gets a little easier to think about what Jesus might do when you just have to look at Pamela. She has always exemplified to me the very best characteristics of man and deity. Her love for her fellow human beings, regardless of their status in life. Maybe more importantly, for those who are at the margins. She treats everyone with the same amount of respect, whether she's in the halls of the legislature, meeting with some of the most powerful people in our state, or in the Rio Grande district, meeting with those who feel left behind and who have stopped believing even in themselves. That is such a rare characteristic, and it's one that is so desperately needed today. It's one I think we should all aspire to. I hope we aspire to it, despite our many imperfections. I want to be like Pamela, because Pamela is is like Jesus, and that has made it so easy for me, and we love you. I have to say, I remember the first time I met Pamela, and I suspect that everyone in this room remembers the first time that they met Pamela. You see, it's always interesting. I get to meet people, famous people, powerful people, and the feeling I had when I met Pamela was the same feeling I have had when I've met presidents of the United States. She was larger than life, someone I had only heard about, someone I knew who had done amazing things, and someone that everyone respected. And so that first impression was a powerful one when I met her, and she was everything I hoped she would be, and so much more. I think her accent just adds to the lure of Pamela. I'm convinced that speaking with a British accent makes you 25% smarter. And in Pamela's situation, she did not need that extra 25%, but she got it anyway. But I just want you to think, if I could, and then I'll read the declaration. The path that it takes for a little girl from London living in the margins of society, in poverty, in filth, as she's described it to me, to end up being an icon, a leader, a Presbyterian girl from the UK here in Utah, the path that brought her here. I believe that God has a path for all of us, and I just believe that she was really good at finding hers. And I'm so grateful that that path brought her here. As the Lieutenant Governor said, generations to come will be impacted by her life and her giving and her kindness. Whereas Pamela Atkinson was born and raised in England and came to the United States to study at the University of California and the University of Washington. She has worked in Utah for many years, starting at Intermountain Healthcare as head of nursing and later as vice president of community initiatives. Pamela Atkinson has devoted her life to serving others, donating countless hours to personally provide people in need with bedding, clothing, food, shelter, and medical care. She has supported a variety of community organizations and raised significant funds to help those in need. Whereas Atkinson was instrumental in initiating the Lincoln Family Health Center, the Intermountain Neighborhood Clinic, and the Rose Park Family Health Center. She has shown her love for Utah students by serving for 10 years on the Utah Board of Regents, as well as the State Board of Education and the Utah College of Technology Board. She has served her community through involvement on many other boards, including the Utah Homeless Council, Envision Utah, the Utah Coalition Against Pornography, the State Refugee Board, BMW of North America, and as an elder of the First Presbyterian Church of Salt Lake City. Whereas Pamela Atkinson has been a trusted advisor and personal friend to the last 5 Utah governors and has worked diligently on a wide variety of issues, including social services, homeless services, refugee assistance, interfaith relations, services for the disabled, and other critically important issues. Pamela Atkinson has earned well-deserved titles such as Utah's Florence Nightingale and Utah's Mother Teresa. Utah's Homeless Trust Fund and other facilities have been named in her honor. Whereas in addition to her incredible community service, Pamela Atkinson is a kind and caring mother of 3 children and grandchildren to 10, and a grandmother to 10 grandchildren and 2 great-grandchildren. And whereas Pamela Atkinson's decades of service, enduring generosity, and selfless compassion for all Utahns will be felt for generations to come, she has had a tremendous impact on the state of Utah, and we celebrate her iconic legacy of being recklessly good as we strive to live better and love bigger, as she always has. Now, therefore, I, Spencer J. Cox, Governor of the State of Utah, do hereby declare February 24th, 2023 as Pamela Atkinson Day in the state of Utah, and I will sign it right now. I'm going to ask everyone to sit except Pamela's family. Remain standing. We want to applaud you as well. Can we give them a round of applause? Miss Pamela, would you prefer to sit? And I will hand you the microphone. Okay, come on up.
Thank you. I'm for loss for words. This is so humbling, and my gratitude knows no end. From your very kind words, Lieutenant Governor, to Gail, as a very great friend, I'm so grateful for you and your generosity. You've taught me so much. Speaker Wilson, I appreciate you, and I remember saying to you once, "Are you being honest with me?" And he said, yes, I was. He was being honest with me, and I've appreciated his integrity. Since I'm one of the people who never ever let issues get in the way of friendships, one can have difference of opinion and still appreciate each other. President Adams, thank you for your kind words. I've appreciated the fact that you've always made yourself available for me, and so I can put forth issues from people that I represent out in the community. President Ballard, you have been a dear friend. I remember going to events where you and Barbara were, and I remember getting into deep conversations with Barbara, and I suddenly feel a tap on my shoulder, and there was President Ballard saying, "Do you have a seat to go to?" I was sitting in his seat. He was always frightfully polite about it, but I just so enjoyed chatting with Barbara, and it was very nice. And I'll tell you something, if I hadn't had a seat at another table, President Ballard would have found a seat for me. I really am aware of that. But thank you for your friendship. Thank you for taking the time to be here today. When we honored you last year, I was delighted and humbled to be one of your speakers. To all of you who made time to come today, I'm just so very grateful. Governor, you've done me such great honor. The governor and Abby came to visit me, and they brought me this most beautiful orchid a few weeks ago. And I laughingly said, you know, when I saw orchids growing up as a kid in poverty, I didn't know what they were, and I was just told, oh, they're for posh people. So I want to let you know that every morning when I get up and go out to the kitchen and I see this magnificent orchid, I feel ever so posh. So I thank you for that. I thank you for making this such a special day for me, and for all of you who have taken the time to come and share this day with me. It's very, very humbling, and my great-granddaughter is here today. Hi, Lottie. Hi, Lottie. It's always great to see her. When you have the generations coming together, how wonderful it is to have a family. The older, the middle, and the youngest. Yes, that's you. But it is so humbling to have a day named after me, Governor. I mean, how more special could it get? It couldn't. I was reflecting back this morning as I was lying in bed and thinking about the poverty in which I grew up, the fact that we didn't have indoor bathroom or toilet, and all the things that I could never have because we were too poor. But one of the things that I've learned is that you don't define yourself by who you were as a child growing up like that. You define yourself as to who you are now, as to your relationship with God, and the relationships that you have with these incredible people and yourselves. That's who we are today, not who we were. And I've been so blessed to have so many opportunities to serve others. And I just love what I'm doing. It's so rewarding. I think I often get more out of it than the people I'm serving. So to all of you who've involved me in the work that you're doing, thank you. To all of you, my family especially, for your support. And Lottie, your support as well, little one. I'm grateful. The family has always been there for me. To my friends and neighbors, I thank you too. You've all played such a large part in my life, and I'm grateful that you would take the time to be here today to celebrate with me this Pamela Atkinson Day. So my thanks to all of you, my gratitude to you, Governor, and my thanks and gratitude to all who spoke today. Thank you so much.
Okay, yeah, that concludes this event. We're gonna take a picture with Pamela here, and then I understand we have biscuits for everyone. All right, thank you.